Hey, old deal.
Hey, buddy. What time did you come in?
12 or 1 o'clock.
Ain't no such a thing. Okay, bud.
What about Richmond?
I thought it was a decent race. I hate the 43 and the 42 couldn't compete with them, but I guess we had days like that and had a pretty day for it. A lot of different lead competitive cars that went away, good cars and bad cars at different times.
Yeah, it really, the race was over until they had that last caution.
Yeah, and
everybody was in line. They knew where they was going to finish, and then they had that last caution. Some of them had some new tires, and some of them didn't have, and it just changed the whole complexity of the race. So, and it was that way the whole race, though. One crowd took off to begin with.
Exactly.
Then they made pit stops, and so it was pretty interesting race all the way through. Because like the 5 car got up there one time and off and left everybody. His tires just quit, and when he did, first thing you know, he wound up 5th or 6th before they had another caution.
And but then, like you said, circumstance. But most of the races this year have been like that, Richard. A late caution, an accident or something has just changed the whole complexion of the races. And I guess we're, 6 or 7 races in, and most of them have ended like that,
Well, at least it was, 15 or 20 laps to go or whatever to end. Most of the time it's just a green-white checker, and then they have to crash each other on that deal.
That's where the difference was there, yeah.
They did get to race. Some of the ones that stayed out or didn't have tires stayed out, and they just got blowed away. And the guys that got blowed away had the right strategy. They were supposed to win the race, but then the caution comes out. So no matter what you do and how you set up, circumstances beyond your control a lot of times finds out whether you're going to finish good or not. Just because you run good and you think everything's all set, a caution flag just changes everything.
And of course, running into the stages too, what you've had, they changed it up through there. But your point was the last caution caused all the
it changed the whole complexion
of the race. But getting back to the 42 and 43, Dave, the crew chief, I think he could probably give up some positions trying to make the car better, where it would overcome those positions, and it just didn't work. And
the adjustments didn't work.
His adjustments didn't work. And then I know one time me just listening to him, he said, well, that hurt us. We got to go back where we was at and start again. And there's just no time for that. You're losing track position, and you just can't make it up if you're not a decent car.
And then you lose it in the pits because you're making adjustments on top of that.
Exactly.
So you're losing on both ends of the stick.
And, a pit stop nowadays, like a second just makes a lot of difference, Richard, on track position.
Track position is so important when the cars run basically the same speed, within 10 or 15 100ths of each other. So, if you make up a second in the pit, that's a straightaway. And that's hard to overcome on a racetrack.
But just sitting back watching the race, I guess, man, you was just kind of as a fan because we couldn't help nothing Sunday. But if you watch the race, you couldn't just pick out a slow car like you normally can. Everybody was just out there running. If a slow car was on good tires, he was faster than the leaders,
He'd go out and lap himself.
And lap himself. And then, like you said, the cautions and the stages got them all caught up. And it looked like one time the 24 and the 5 was the dominant car that was going to lap the field. But then you look back how many cars was on the lead lap, and that makes for a competitive race, I guess.
It was one of the better races as far as I was concerned, because you had different people up front at different times under different circumstances.
And different makes of cars.
And everybody got involved.
Everybody got involved.
I mean, the 11 car got out there one time. I thought he was going to blow everybody away. I think he wound up 20th when it was all. Just because,
I think he got caught for speed.
Well,
and then the 20 car was there, and then the 19 car was going to win
the race if they'd continued the race.
Yeah.
The caution cost him, and he wound up, 6th or 7th or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It just
anyhow, I think I was really concerned about the new rule deal of see if it would help the short tracks. According to the race we've seen Sunday, I think that was the best short track race we've had, and even last year. So hopefully, say last year the short track was probably better racing than the big tracks. This year it's been the big tracks. I think have been a little more competitive. Shorter tracks has not been as competitive. So hopefully they got some of that figured out.
Well, of course, you got the Bristol Dirt coming up this week, and what to expect there, we don't know, and that'll be a whole new ball game. But then the cars go to Martinsville, and I know Clay Campbell was wanting for a good race at Richmond, and he got that because that'll help his ticket sales, and it'll be it's a different style racetrack at Martinsville, and
the same strategy works there. Okay, the tires are not quite as important. They're still very, very important. New tires going to outrun old tires anytime.
I think,
but not a half a second like it did at Richmond.
Yeah, but I think the big thing at Martinsville coming up is track position, pit stops, and maybe even qualifying.
The whole situation.
And I hope they don't. And of course, Richmond was rained out, and that didn't give no practice, no nothing. So there you go again. We use a lot of excuses, but the 42 and the 43 just got outrun.
I just hope we can hit a better combination this week than we did last week, at Martinsville anyway. Going to the dirt track, man, that's a wide open deal. Nobody knows what to expect. It's supposed to rain a lot, so it'll probably be just nothing but a big mud hole, but we'll find out.
And it's on the schedule, and they're going to have a race, and they'll have a winner at Bristol.
All right, that was fantastic. Thank you, Phil.
Okay.
Now you're using a different word.
Hey, it's not perfect. It was fantastic, though. It was fantastic.
Okay.